I would like to advise our participants here that to refrain from clapping. That's try to keep things as neutral as possible. Okay, we have Mr. George Clare speaking before us, and could I have Warren Lee Ferreira is our next speaker? Is Warren here today? Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Enriquez, for being fair and having all of the opponents speak first. Thank you very much. That was really obvious. Okay, I'm here to support Mr. Greenwell's courageous stand to bring forward a discussion that the people who have testified that are paid by this county that sat here behind this microphone have given off statistics of their own failure. For 70 years, this plant has been illegal. And here we are spending how much money? Billions and billions of dollars. We've locked up 25 million people, and today we have just as big a problem. Nowhere did we gain anything. You know why? It's not the problem. The problem is you guys making bad laws. The prohibition law creates crime and gives big criminals a sweetheart deal to deal the most valuable drugs in our society in the black market. And then you employ these guys to try to stop them. This creates crime and criminalizes the entire population. We do have only 5% of the world's population, and we have 25% of the people locked up in the world. That's the statistics. We aren't going anywhere towards a solution. Mr. Kimura here, he's here with statistics, but he can't even fill out what needs to be filled out to be in compliance with the law that the consent of the governed just passed. I'm here for the consent of the governed. I'm here for home rule. Everywhere else, this jurisdiction is failing terrible. It's making war on people, not armies. And you get all the statistics that you have read tonight because you have made a war on your own people. These people, the ones that are paid to testify here tonight, they're on salary. So I have a poem. This is how you have been relating to and respecting the law that the people voted. The last great grunt of a dangerous drug hunt, by cops being robbers the government sent, hell-bent to burn the eyes of the peaceful sky, denying the people's voice and vote to cover the crime that is sinking the boat of those who are the butt of the joke.
30 seconds.
Billy, Lincoln, Harry, and Jay, a war upon nature is genocide. You might adjust your corporate ride and save some respect for your hide from those to whom you've stolen and lied. Beg for mercy to be forgiven so you might reform what has been living. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clare. Our next speaker is Warren Ferreira, followed by Ryan Yoshioka.
Thank you, Mr.
Yoshioka, please step forward. Thank you. Warren, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the record, I'm not related to the deputy chief. I'm here as a private citizen, a concerned constituent, and a member of the silent majority, and I am not being paid to be here. I'm here in opposition to the resolution for the decriminalization of marijuana. All of my research and personal family experience on this matter has not shown me any convincing arguments to the positive aspects of the decriminalization of marijuana. Let me cite some reasons for my opposition. First, the majority of people readily point out marijuana is a legal substance in Amsterdam. I hear this brought up a lot, which would be fine with me if these people would also acknowledge the negative fact that Amsterdam does have a particularly high crime rate and has problems with citizens using hard drugs. Second, some of the acknowledged side effects of marijuana are the difficulty in judging distances, ability to concentrate, coordination, and the ability to react quickly. We already have a problem with DUIs caused by alcohol use, and the legalization of marijuana will be adding to the problem of stoned driving. Marijuana can affect self-control, causing a loss in sense of time and perception, which has a negative effect on one's ability to operate a vehicle safely. Third, marijuana does affect a person's lungs and brain. The effective ingredient in THC does attack the part of the brain where memories are stored. Fourth, marijuana, like cigarettes, can have negative effects on one's lungs and on others by way of negative passive smoke. One marijuana cigarette can contain up to 4 times more cancer-causing tar than a filtered cigarette. Fifth, the decriminalization will increase the chances of the drug falling into the hands of kids. Even unhealthy legal items such as cigarettes and alcohol are prohibited from being sold to kids. This is because kids generally don't exhibit the same reasoning, responsibility, and judgment of an adult. The problem is even worse with marijuana use. Anytime you make something legal, you increase the accessibility to children. All too often, kids and teenagers get their hands on alcohol or cigarettes. We shouldn't let the same thing happen with marijuana. Finally, as a resident of this county and a lifetime resident of this state,
30 seconds.
I don't want Hawaii County to become the marijuana haven for pot use and for those who are trying to capitalize on the decriminalization of marijuana. I implore this council to exercise their political will and personal fortitude to oppose the resolution by a vocal minority to impose its will on the majority of citizens of this county. I thank you for the opportunity to testify and express my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Ferreira. Our next speaker before us is Ryan Yoshioka. He'll be followed by Miles Yoshioka. Please step forward, Mr. Yoshioka. Thank you. Ryan, go ahead.
Ren.
Oh, excuse me. Ren.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Good evening, County Council members and Chair Enriquez, as well as the other attendees here. I am Ren Yoshioka, and I am a student at Hilo High School. I would also like to acknowledge that I am not an employee of any government and that I am entitled to my own opinion. It isn't often that you see a person in their teens here speaking to you. However, the item for discussion today is one of great controversy and concern, and I feel that you should also hear the side not often heard at this meeting. As a student, I feel much concern from my peers. It is true that students can and are getting their hands on marijuana and smoking it. Decriminalization will only make it easier for students to obtain. Smoking marijuana is especially inappropriate during a time where a core of a person's learning is done. I do acknowledge the lack of deaths directly attributed to marijuana use. However, it is also true that there are many other things that do not kill people and are still illegal. The reason we must be so cautious with marijuana is the effects it has on the mind. The impairment of motor control, memory, decision-making skills, and perception are not conducive to any learning or working environment. Even in recreational settings, these effects may lead to problems. I personally have no issues with medical marijuana use because of its use in pain management when pain does not respond to typical painkillers. My issue is with unnecessary use. I also feel it must be noted that teachers are employees of the state, while law enforcement is under the county. They are not financially interchangeable and should not be used as an argument to support this legislation. And in the case of helicopter overflights, I feel there is nothing to fear if you have not committed a crime. Thank you for your time, and please take my testimony into consideration when making your decision.
Thank you, Ren.